Being one of the most beloved franchises of all time, it's no surprise that Pokemon has a large speedrunning scene. It spans across a lot of generations and a lot of different hardware. The OG Game Boy games, the newest Switch titles, and everything in between. There are runners for everything, including the plethora of spin-off titles. I want to emphasize that this is indeed a plethora. Various infamous challenges have gained in popularity over the years, some of them being challenges you can attempt in all of the near 18 mainline series games. That's not including the color, gem, star, whatever differences. Nuzlocks, randomizers, Monotype, Wonderlock, Iron Man, and many more. Even though these challenges are more common, Pokemon speedrunning has definitely picked up a lot over the years. In the 6+ years that I've been involved in speedrunning, I've definitely met some really cool people from the Pokemon community, and I do respect a lot of their work. Although, I've always felt personally like there's something missing from the Pokemon universe in terms of speedrunning. So before I dive into Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, I'd like to give some fun and cool information about previous Pokemon games. It'll also explain a little bit about why I'm sometimes critical about some Pokemon speedruns. For the remainder of the video, I will only be referencing the mainline series games, not the plethora of spin-off titles. There are 3 main components to understanding and executing a Pokemon speedrun: movement, menuing, and math. Other components that attribute to the routing are item pickups, strategizing around what trainers to fight or skip, and various forms of luck, including optimal starter Pokemon stats, surprise critical hits, random encounters, and what attacks hit or miss in battle. Burns, poisons, paralysis, sleep, yeah, these are all bad. There's quite a lot that goes into routing a Pokemon game. Some of the games are more complex than others, depending on how many of these things can heavily alter certain battles, encounter rates, and menus. All of these things can be witnessed in action, and make for some interesting runs. Although, most of what I just said pertains to the glitchless routes. What about the any percent? Well, that's when things get weird. Blue and Red version was made quite well for its time, but runners found a way to beat the game with weird code execution, requiring the runner to pull off a glitch called underflowing. It's a series of events pulled off in a certain sequence that tricks the game into thinking that the player has negative Pokemon. Performing the correct sequence will allow the player to change their coordinates in the game. Now, see, this allows you to just select the Hall of Fame and complete the game. It takes under 1.5 minutes when done optimally. In Gold and Silver version, this isn't exactly possible, but you can beat the game in about 8 minutes using a specific strategy. This one is much more complicated. It requires you to rename boxes in the Pokemon Center to specific names, buy 11 antidotes at the Pokemon Mart, toss a potion, save, pick up the potion, take Toto's berry, save and quit, start a new game, name your trainer Gold, save and quit to corrupt the file, check the clock for 10 AM before continuing, check for your Pokédex, go through Mr. Pokemon's cutscene again, do a bunch of corrupted menu mumbo jumbo, view Pokédex, exit, take a step down, take 2 steps left, talk to Red, and the game's over. What in the world is this bull? Anyways, any percent in the early games are just so broken. I mean, you barely see the game. When you hop on over to the Game Boy Advanced games, Ruby and Sapphire and Fire Red and Leaf Green aren't like this. Emerald, however, has a serious glitch that you start setting up at around 1 hour and 10 minutes into the run. Early in the run, you do need to use a flow timer to count down to a specific frame to catch a specific Abra to execute the glitch that will be performed after beating Norman, your father. The glitch involves killing Poochyena and Wurmples for exact numbers on Abra's effort values, and having your Marshtomp at 1 HP before using Abra to teleport out of a battle. From this point on, you use an HP up on Abra, pick up some Pomeg berries, and then change the box names at the Pokemon Center, similarly to the manipulation done in Gold and Silver. Then you move Abra to a specific spot in Box 2, and use the Pomeg berry on Marshtomp to kill him. With a party of fainted Pokemon, you enter a random battle and throw out a big old question mark. This thing looks silly. After doing some menuing, you'll try to run away and be sent back to the Pokemon Center with a still fainted party. And a corrupted Abra. If Abra in the box has turned into a nest ball egg, you withdraw it, and then you bike around to hatch it. The birth of that corrupted little Pokemon brings you to the Hall of Fame. Entering the DS era, there's a glitch called tweaking. The games are loaded by a 32x32 tile grid, and by moving quickly over various load lines where these grids intersect, you can cause the game to load and unload certain collisions and character sprites, allowing you to get to areas before you're supposed to. Diamond and Pearl uses this after acquiring the Explorer's Kit and the bike, which leads to some specific movement that puts you in the position to enter the Hall of Fame and become an absolute legend. Using this method, you can actually beat the game in under an hour, so you do play a bit of the game before completely breaking it. By now, you can see a common theme in these any % runs. They all involve some type of weird execution to trick the game into thinking you've completed it, based on coding and coordinates. It's all very complex, but not very flashy. Not only is this important information to know for the rest of the video, but this is also the reasoning behind why I seem to be so critical of Pokemon speedruns. Glitchless categories are great, and there's a lot of impressive work that's been done over the years to optimize these games. I respect that a lot, but I've always wanted to see a Pokemon game's any % performed in entirely different ways. A way that would make for a really cool set of categories in the realm between any % and glitchless. Runs that are more flashy and interesting to watch when being broken apart. That's truly what I'm here to talk about. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. No longer does Furret have to walk along that escalator. The game is out, and the speedrunning community has been hard at work. At first, it seems most runners assumed the game would be similar to the last few titles. You know, just made so well and not one helpful glitch for speedrunning in sight. But what these runners didn't know is that this game was going to be one of the most broken games in the series. Without the use of simply warping to the Hall of Fame, of course. Allow me to share some of the insane glitches that have been found. The first thing that I'm going to mention is menu storage. This is a very important part of the current any % route, as well as an important part of doing many other glitches that I'm going to explain. On the Pokemon summary screen, you can mash A, or A plus ZR plus ZL, to store the menu, bringing up a menu over a menu. What you want to do, in most cases, is double storage. Doing double menu storage is what allows you to execute many other glitches, one of which is door storage. Doing a double menu storage and entering a door while hitting B during the door animation will put you in a glitched state where you no longer get random encounters or fight trainers. In order to exit the state, you save and quit. This is huge. It allows you to traverse the usual areas with absolutely nothing stopping you from progressing. You even can skip grabbing the Pokédex. Another thing that's great about this method of menu storage is that it also allows you to interact with NPCs that are triggered from entering a certain part of an area. This is useful in some situations because some interactions will move your character. A great example of this is the girl who tells you that the GWS isn't ready yet. That interaction will actually push you the other direction. Now that you've done the menu storage, you've actually stored that animation, and it can be used after the "I'm so sorry the GWS isn't ready yet" script is gone, meaning you can exit it after you've set yourself up by some trees, and it will clip you out of bounds. This allows you to run in the void to other cities way before you were ever intended to. All you have to do is save and quit to load the area that you're in after you've traversed the void, and you can basically go almost anywhere you want. The great thing about being out of bounds in this game is that there's still a bunch of stuff to collide with, meaning you can navigate the void a bit easier by bonking into walls and objects to know roughly where you are. Pretty wild stuff already, and we're not even done. So you're probably wondering at this point, if you can go out of bounds, what about the gyms? How do you beat the gym leaders if your Pokemon are wee little chumps who never learned how to fight? I mean, you're skipping all these trainers and all these battles, and what are they gonna do? Well, that's the great thing about this whole menu storage thing we got going on here. 2 words. Pokédolls. Pokédolls are items used to guarantee an escape from any battle with a wild Pokemon. See where we're going here? So you store the menu, you enter the bag screen, and you trigger a battle. This allows you to navigate to the Pokédoll and then move up exactly twice. As long as you're 2 up from the Pokédoll, this will work. When the battle has begun, and it's waiting for your move specifically, press down twice to choose the Pokédoll. Make sure you only go down 2 times, and make no more movements at all. This is to make sure that the battle menu is hovering over bag and not fight or run. Press B to close the battle bag that opened from the battle menu, and press A to use the Pokédoll. Quickly press B to get to the stored menu and open the Pokédex or the bag as quick as possible, otherwise you will softlock your game. And bada bing bada boom. Battle skipped. I mean, this is just silly, but it's pretty dang cool. The funniest thing about it is that it works on every battle. This means that gym leaders don't matter anymore. The game thinks you've beaten the gym leader because you've exited the battle, and there you go, here's your badge. In fact, you can simply make your way to Fantina, beat her with this method, and acquire Surf, which leads to my personal favorite glitch. Surfing on land. Yeah, you literally just surf on land. Earlier, I mentioned script storage. You can use this on a door near a surfable tile, and then try to surf on it. Afterwards, the door script will continue, and you'll end up in the building. You can then surf out of the building, and you're now surfing on land. You can legitimately go wherever you want now, as long as you abide by the laws of collision. Thankfully, you can change your height by saving and quitting in order to float over things that you may collide with. Now, you're probably wondering yet again, if you can go out of bounds to other locations without the need of fighting gym leaders, how do you enter the league? Surely you can't just enter the league without the required badges. I mean, that'd be ridiculous. I mean, there's a guy for that. He checks... No. No. The answer is no, he doesn't check. Yes, you can just enter the league. The NPC blocking the Pokemon League door has absolutely no intention of actually making sure you have the 8 badges. Not a care in the world. So now, the question is, why not just make your way to the Pokemon League out of bounds? Yeah, I agree, why not? I present to you loading zone behind waterfall that is substantially lower than you would think it would be. Now, by the time this video's out, there's multiple ways of actually doing this. There are multiple places that you can get out of bounds in, and you can just go to the waterfall and save and quit to load the area, and there you go. You just go into the loading zone and you're in the Pokemon League. It's kind of wild. Yeah, the method I want to explain is actually a method that uses something else that's really crazy that I'm going to explain right now, called a menu sandwich. Yeah, we're hitting the deli. A menu sandwich contains 4 menu storages, 1 key item storage, and 2 menu storages. This is also done after doing something called a double register, where you register the old rod to down and right. That's done by getting storage, going into items, pressing A on the item you want to double register, hit X, go into the bag, register the item, back out, and register the item again. You back out until you can see the overworld after double registering. Now it's time to assemble your sandwich. Set up a menu storage, set up another menu storage, set up another menu storage, and then set up another menu storage, but hit B and then plus to layer a key item menu behind the other menu. Now once you've achieved this behemoth, you menu storage 2 more times, the second one being the one where you back out to acquire movement. There you go, nice big Sammy. Once you've got your movement back, you close out of the 4th storage on the exclamation mark from the GWS girl, and then walk to Route 203. Walk to the end of the route, use repel near the cave entrance, and line up so the bottom edge of the menu is just above the bottom of the ledge. This is very important. Close out of the 3rd storage with B, and press down to jump the ledge and get the key item text. Backing out of that text, you can walk back to Juby Life in mid-air. Yeah, you are floating. From there, you enter the item menu, you wear out the repel in Juby Life, and don't renew it. Walk back to GWS Girl, use the second to last storage to cancel the cutscene with her, and then you go back to Route 202 to clip out of bounds. From here, you can actually walk to the Elite Four with some traversal through the void. This is probably the most intimidating thing from what I can tell. You really have to get a feel for this by knowing where you're bonking into something with collision and not taking any missteps during the process. Thankfully, there is actually a guide with specific movements and even step count, so that you can perform this consistently. One could say it's bonkers. Within 2 weeks of its release, it is just being ripped apart in so many different ways. I didn't even explain all of the glitches. There's item duping, Pokemon duping, battle storage glitch, egg cracking, mock bike breach, and more. And all of this can be implemented in a bunch of possible categories that aren't just beating the game as fast as possible. Any percent, well, I mean, multiple any percent type of categories with restrictions in this game could be some of the most interesting Pokemon speedrunning content I've ever witnessed. I'm sure many of you out there could agree after seeing the absolute crazy stuff that's been going on the past 2 weeks. I learned so much stuff about Pokemon that I never thought I would making this video. So it took a lot of brain power to wrap my head around so much of this. I would like to thank this list of runners right here in this Pokemon speedrun community. Their hard work and dedication to the games is definitely well respected. And thank you so much for your work. I was able to use that footage from your various world records, as well as clips that you've been posting online, to make this video. And I will put all of the links to their channels in the description. Big shout out to my buddy PulseEffect for helping me not sound like a complete idiot during my few days of research. A lot of this stuff I had to write on the fly due to discoveries being made every day and new videos, and I'm just thankful he was open to helping me out when he wasn't streaming. Make sure you follow him on his Twitch and sub to his YouTube. Another big shout out to Shenanigans. He made a playlist of tutorial videos for all of the glitches needed to complete an 90% run of the game, and that made this so much easier on me. Make sure to follow and sub to his channels as well. Good luck to all of the runners, and enjoy the bright future that this game has. I look forward to seeing some really cool categories sprout from all of these discoveries. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe here if you like this type of content, or speedrunning in general. I'll see you all next time.